So beautiful.
Oh, and we're live. Hi, everybody. Welcome to Monday Munch.
Hi, everybody that's not here now. It's good.
That's okay. It's still able to be seen in syndication afterwards. So anybody that wants to watch, the next day can still say hi to them. Hi, people. Thanks for joining us.
Where were you assholes today?
I appreciate you because I understand not being able to make it things on time, and so does this dude.
I'm never on time.
Speak of the devil and the morning star themselves, and they appear. How are you, my
Hello. I'm doing all right. I just got back from groceries, and then I realized I fucked up and didn't move my camera and light back, so I had to real quick set up my camera and lighting system behind my desk in the last 5 minutes.
Very nice.
If it makes you feel any better, I got so excited to see you that I spilled my monster on my lap.
That does make me feel a little better.
That means you got her wet already. It's all gravy.
Hi.
I was going to make that joke in the private chat, day 6.
I think that's right on
Hi.
Well, that is a perfect way to introduce tonight's topic. Tonight we are talking about self-exploration. If you don't know what self-exploration is, we'll put it in layman's terms: masturbation.
Choking the
even more layman's terms, touching your body
diddling yourself
in ways that bring you pleasure.
playing solitaire. How many euphemisms can we come up for masturbation?
Well, there's like way too many.
Flicking the bean.
Yeah.
What's everybody's favorite? Let's just give everybody's favorite real quick.
Before we do that, can I tell you guys, since she said flicking the bean just now, can I tell you how great it is? My son wants to go to Chicago because he wants to flick the bean. He has no idea why anybody flicks the bean. Zero clue on why that happens. It's one of those things on his bucket list of things to do is to go flick the big bean in Chicago.
I can't wait till he's old enough to realize.
All right. So, then
Okay.
is flick the bean your favorite euphemism?
Ooh, I like to get off.
Just get off.
Yeah.
All right. Mister, what's your favorite euphemism for masturbation?
I don't really have a good one. I might have to cheat and look one up.
Oh, no.
Love it.
Then you don't get to put it in. Alice?
My favorite is pampering myself.
Oh, I like that one.
How about our amazing...
I like
I
that
got
one.
one I do love.
What?
Shaking hands with my best friend.
That's great. I like it. I dig it. Ray?
Solo missions.
What? Solo mission?
Solo missions. Yeah.
Warming up the altar boys' dinner.
Oh, fuck.
Damn it!
You win.
Sick.
Oh, yes. Yes. I love it. Oh, my God. Oh.
I think that would come in under whimsical and magical, Alice. What would you say?
That was definitely whimsical.
That was
Thank you. I just barely got done blushing with that, by the way.
So, with the whimsical segue, may I share the conclusion that I came to after 6 hours of rabbit hole?
Okay.
Sure.
Absolutely.
That Bigfoot must have been a chronic masturbator. That's why he got hair all over and went blind, and he's never seen in public because he's got religious guilt associated with masturbation.
That's it.
We're going to not defeat the trolls right now. Sorry, I got distracted for a second. Day 6, are you having issues again? Is your phone mad at you? For
I
the
love
Ultra
that,
Blue joke?
Ray. I really do.
I think it was mad at me for that comment. I think the euphemism was too much for my network. I think T-Mobile just said, "Wait, no, we're cutting that off."
The NSA was like, "Nah, bro, not today."
Well, the sad thing is my buddy's the one doing that. Then
Oh man.
All right. So
Masturbation.
yeah, choking the chicken.
And we're all here to educate, so knowledge is pleasure. The fun and informative guide to sexual exploration and self-discovery. So I'm gonna keep things on the lighter side. I learned at a young age. Yeah, and once I figured out how to do that shit, that's all I wanted to do. That's it. Like,
So-
that was it. Like rock and roll.
So Mister's little story there does bring up a big myth surrounding masturbation. So whenever we get to the myth, I'm ready.
Oh yeah, she's locked and loaded. So it's important to understand that everybody, you know, we've talked about spectrum as far as sexuality goes, from asexual to hypersexual. Is that where the spectrum ended, or allosexual?
Omnisexual.
Omnisexual. So you just everything, all the things.
Hmm.
Everybody has their own desire and their own preference. I sit as a heterosexual male.
Hi, I'm pansexual.
There you go.
I'm really needing a girlfriend.
Where she's recruiting, guys.
Well,
Are you accepting applications?
You don't need another cult leader.
Really?
Leader, hold on. We gotta.
well,
You can slap me later. It's fine.
Another one. Are we gotta have like it's a democracy here, right? I don't know.
I don't know. I'm just here for the laughs and the education.
Okay.
I'd like to not use the word call, more like maybe a
Fanatics.
circle or something. I don't know. Fanatics, they sound crazy.
Everyone's going to sound crazy to people who don't like what they're saying.
Right. Exactly.
Verify. We are not a cult.
Okay, so when
Yet.
nothing.
The jury's still out on that one, I think.
We put in with the IRS, so we're working on cult status.
That's just a 501c3 and declaring yourself a church. Really?
Yeah, same thing.
Hey, listen. Our Lady of the Immaculate Truth is not a cult.
This is true. It's immaculate truth.
Yeah. I love it.
Lav bringing me more snacks.
The greatest guest appearance I've ever had.
Hi, Lav. Blow them a kiss from me, too.
Day 6, when I'm giving them attention later, they'll get a special kiss just from you.
Yes. Oh, be still my heart. I'm so happy right now. I'm good. I'm on top of cloud 9. Life is gravy.
Okay, so
Ray, we have a private chat.
we need we were asking earlier, Lab, what's your favorite word for masturbation? Or
They left the room as soon as they delivered snacks, but I'll send them a message and see if I
Okay.
can get that answer for you.
I know
anybody in the chat? I thought
They usually hop up on the chat.
They usually are in chat. They're putting groceries away right now, and
Oh, okay.
then they're probably going to go lay in bed because their surgery's acting up.
fudge round.
Oh,
Ooh, fudge rounds. Okay.
All right.
fudge
So,
round. Nice.
so
So,
based on
let's
that
get down to
spectrum,
business.
what the hell was that? Oh, Ray, your sound did that weird thing, and I was like, "Who's watching the video?"
Oh,
Like you sound like really distant for a second, and yeah, I don't know. Oh no, it's not a
is that
problem. You just still sound like you're. I can hear you clearly. It just sounds like you're,
better? Okie dokie.
like you're in a room, a recording studio.
It's like you're on a group call, like on the telephone on speakerphone.
Yeah, there you go.
Oh, okay. Okay, moving forward.
Right, moving forward. So everybody has their own preferences. Even so, let's also kind of mingle preferences a little bit. Some straight people or heterosexual people watch porn that's not heterosexual.
Mhm.
I'd like to say it in the most non-offensive way possible. So some straight people watch gay porn.
Yeah,
It's just their thing. I just like it. I mean, it's
On the other side of that, you have some queer people who are guilty of occasionally watching straight porn.
oh, how dare you?
Okay, as a pan, so therefore, all over when it comes to gender, it doesn't matter what's on the screen, whether it's gay or straight, the word still ends with porn, right?
Right.
Right. So, I think that's a great segue because porn is a great way to assist with that self-exploration. In many, many, many porn videos, regardless of genre, there is some form of self-touching going on in shown. So that's a positive way, in my opinion, to at least get an idea of what others like. So see if you like it.
Can I also add that I think of like the whole stigma with porn and stuff like that, as far as like what's real and what's not real. That's like the most realistic thing there is when these actors and actresses are doing it for themselves, they know what really feels good to themselves and they do those things. There's not much they do for show in that aspect. There are still some things.
Oh yeah.
But for the most part, when they're touching themselves, they're doing it in a technique or a way that they enjoy.
And like you can usually tell the difference because their body will have a reaction to it. Whereas if they're just doing it for the camera, you don't like see blush, you don't see their breath pick up or anything. They just start making sounds. But if they're actually enjoying it, you'll see the chest flush, the faces get red. It's just a great time.
And as far as like porn not being realistic in general, it's a form of entertainment. That's the point. It's supposed to be a fantasy.
Oh, I got Lav's answer to the question.
Oh yeah?
They have 3.
All right.
The boring one, they do call it masturbating pretty regularly, but they also like wrecking my own shit and taking a nap.
Oh, naps are good. Naps are great.
Other way, Daisy. Other way.
Yeah, I've heard that as a euphemism many a time. The taking it's pretty common on that one. It's great, but wrecking your own shit. Let me just give much props to Lab for wrecking your own shit. That's hot. Like if you actually go to town so hard on your own that you're wrecking your own shit, you done shit right.
Look, that's just so it sounds like there's a scale there. There's taking a nap, which is like, gentle and wonderful. There's masturbation, which is kind of just getting it done.
Right there in the middle.
And then wrecking your shit is pulling out the big toys.
It's usually not the big toys. It's usually they'll just use their hands until they struggle to walk.
Okay. Yeah, that's wrecking your own shit. Yes, right.
See, that makes my wrist hurt faster.
So, with that, I would like to segue a little bit into one of the things I found in research a lot. Phrases like that, well, when used personally is fine, but like as society in general, I don't know how many things I came across where masturbation was referred to as self-abuse, and it does help feed the negative stigma towards masturbation.
Oh, for sure.
I apologize if the joke is distasteful, but if I want to get into self-abuse, I have floggers.
And besides, it's always fun to amuse yourself by abusing yourself.
Self-abuse is a form of self-care if you're a masochist.
Yes, it is.
Another one that I like is self-care. I like to call it self-care. A little bit of self-care.
It is self-care.
I mean, self-care day. I mean, yeah, I'm just gonna have a shower. There's fucking anatomy.
But I get what you're saying, Ray. Like a lot of people that are against that whole sexual rhetoric really try to add some crazy ass stigmas to it. Even if it's not like faith-based, some people just think masturbation is weird in general.
Oh my god!
Some people see it as a form of cheating.
You guys,
relationships.
Yeah.
I remember when I was a little shit on the school bus. They told me that every time I did it, I'd kill a kitten, and it made me think about not doing it for like a couple weeks.
Time out. So when I was like 13.
Sorry, go ahead.
I learned about a website through like my best friend. We always looked up weird shit. It was called Jackin' World. Okay. And obviously this is more focused if you have a penis for the most part. I think it does now cover like all across the spectrum. But this taught me so much shit. Like, it's got techniques, it's got questions, it's got resources, and the fact that it's still a website makes me so happy.
Can you pull it up on the screen? Because the question of the week is, do you find yourself masturbating more often during some seasons than others, and why? It's a good question. I have my answer. Anybody else want to go at it first?
I'll give mine.
Go ahead.
I masturbate more during the winter because I have like seasonal affective disorder, but in the wrong direction. So I'm less depressed in the winter and have more energy than in the summer.
I can't answer it. Oh, it's closed. Okay, never
That's
mind.
interesting. See, I'm the opposite. I'm a springtime little bunny.
And it's
And
funny,
I
we both hit a slump like that in the wintertime. Like, sex is like whatever. You know, we can have it, we can not have it. We could masturbate, we could not. Whatever. And as soon as we come out of hibernation, though, it's fucking full speed.
The yard got mowed today.
So it's
I got
time.
my natty on.
See, mine isn't necessarily a particular season so much as it is like the school year.
Yep, because when the cat's away, the mice will play. Or in this case, when the mice are away, the cat will play.
There you go.
Meow.
And I do.
It's easier to have privacy when I'm home alone for 8 hours a day.
And I find myself tugging my own rope, more often in the summer because I don't know about other penis holders, but for me, when it warms up, the blood goes there and, well, it's on like Donkey Kong.
Some of us like when it's cold.
Yes, and some of us really don't.
I tell you what. So summertime is absolutely like my favorite personally. Sorry, foot's not breaking. Simply because personally, like I wear like the more athletic style boxers, that kind of Under Armour type material. So on a good hot day, it's like it's a good dick day every day. I mean, the body, well, the physiology of the body, like the testicles want to get away from the heat of the body, so they drop lower, which makes everything else go, hey, we're coming with you. So like you get a good solid flaccid pick if you want one.
Yeah.
Irish flaccid.
And I'm the opposite in the winter because my underwear is thinner and less fabric. That whole region is too cold to want to be interacted with.
Did you guys ever think about having winter panties?
No.
No, I want to be a sexy bitch all the time.
All right, so
I
for my own asking for myself, sorry, Ray, asking for myself, what are winter panties?
Obviously, fleece panties and like warm fabric underwears.
I don't know that my configuration could handle that. That feels like it would be very itchy and very uncomfortable.
Okay, so would you like them to be like
Layer up.
lined in some velvet, some crushed velvet?
That sounds delightful.
There we go. Ooh, that does sound nice.
I love how we all have different reactions to all this shit.
Winter panties.
Day 6 is like, fuck this.
No, the texture of the crushed velvet rubbing against the lower boys that want to hang low in the summer.
Well, these are winter
That's why they're for
panties.
winter.
You don't wear them in the summer.
Okay, but then therefore they're warmer. Yeah, so the boys still try to get the hell away because their weapons can only be manufactured at a certain temperature.
I don't want your weapons manufactured.
Well, sadly, I'm still carrying a loaded weapon, even though I'm a father of 5 and grandfather of 2. So,
Pew pew, stay away. Ooh.
You get people pregnant walking by them.
But my lady's got the perfect range where there's no return fire, there's no issue. It's
I'm not
So-
looking in the eye anymore. Can we put little googly eyes over?
Oh man.
here you go.
There we
Well,
go.
There we go.
That's fine.
So we're
What were you gonna say, Ray?
I was thinking about like the time of year thing, and I hadn't really thought about it, but I am generally like have more desire to in the summer, but I don't necessarily know if that's because of the warmer weather and I feel better, or if it's just because I don't have as much access to, and therefore I want it because I can't have it.
Maybe both.
these are all like determining factors that could be anybody who is listening's like reasons why
And
it's like that.
you also have more people interact. Like people interact more in like the warmer year months anyway.
Mm.
So like, I guess that attraction level or being attracted to someone could still kickstart all that to you if you're out in public, whatever.
Flowers smell good. The trees are blossoming.
Some of
It's
you get-
springtime.
When-
Some of you
when
get
people-
about flowers.
When people aren't on a show that's supposed to be allegedly family friendly, they wear less clothes.
Yeah.
Especially during the summer months.
Mhm.
Less clothes doesn't matter.
Oh yeah, less is always better.
It's cold outside.
No, it's still better.
I'm still wearing a sweatshirt and a winter coat, so
Yeah, you guys are about to have some kind of weird ass cold spell up there.
Oh, we
actually
are-
they're saying that in the mountains around me it will see the evil white S word, and it's like it's almost the holiday in April. What are we doing right now?
Oh, sorry. Complete squirrel brain here. But my local news channel mentioned your town twice on Saturday because of the upcoming weather. Like and pronounced it right.
I don't know whether to be more flabbergasted that they mentioned it twice or the fact that they pronounced it correctly.
They didn't say the way I say it wrong. I'm not saying it because I don't want to
All right.
throw you out there like that. But they don't say the way I say it wrong on purpose.
I know. Yeah.
Kane. Wash.
So we're supposed to be talking about people
I'm only
kind of just jacking off around here.
Go in your own backyard and jack off.
So,
Okay. I mean, what? Sorry. Continue.
so we touched a little bit on like porn. Like it or not, it always gets brought up in the discussion. Erotica books, you're always gonna hear 50 Shades of Grey because that was the one that was most publicized. Not that it's the best; it's not even that fucking good. It shouldn't be even out there, but that's my own opinion. But when it came out, everybody was accepting of it. Like you could be reading 50 Shades of Grey in a coffee shop and nobody batted an eye about it. But
Yeah, but 20 years prior to that, if you were sitting in the same coffee shop reading The Joy of Sex, you were going to be ostracized.
Mhm.
I mean, you might still be now, depending where you are.
Yeah, that's true. But obviously not where I'm at.
You can't beat a classic historical romance for that. Like, come on, they have the steamiest sex scenes in them.
He showed me his engorged member. Why are authors of romance books so afraid to say like the word cock?
Many aren't.
Because it
Not
comes
reading the right stuff.
well, in general, the actual reason for that, it comes off as abrasive to more people and it's harder to sell books. Sorry, go ahead.
Cock normally is a little more aggressive than things like dick or member or fucking any other. You
Saucy.
could get into some real silly euphemisms.
Bro.
Purple-headed warrior.
The worst I've ever heard was the one-eyed milkman.
Alabama
I
one
think that needs I think that's something that needs to be addressed too is yes, euphemisms for body parts are a thing, but I personally believe, and this is a hill that I will die on, that children need to be taught the proper names for their anatomy.
Mhm.
It is not vulgar for a child to know they have a penis or a vagina. Yes, time and place. But even in an awkward time or place, like a kindergarten class, would you rather a kindergarten boy go up to the teacher and say his penis itches, or go up to the teacher and say my cock itches?
My throbbing member is his teacher.
Robbing member is. For a humor factor, I would just love to see like a teacher's reaction to like but that's just like the humor factor. But realistically, absolutely, I think we've touched on it. No pun intended, but we've touched on it a few times. Of having those softer words, cookie, things like that along those lines, like time and a place. But if they don't know the other words, then that could really cause an issue of miscommunication or not understanding when something is happening. Not to delve into the dark side of things, but you want somebody to be able to have an honest conversation, even if they're young.
Issues with safety, yes, but also just medical issues. Like if they're going to the school nurse because all of a sudden there's something going on, they can effectively communicate. Like
So
you don't have to worry about what is a hoo-ha ding dong.
Like if some well, when it comes to being like uncircumcised, younger kids tend to not clean it as well, and that can cause yeast infections. That can cause all kind of issues, and you've got to be able to have that honest conversation, especially in the summer months, like the hot times. It's a real nasty, damp situation in that whole general area for everybody. So not taking care of yourself and not cleaning and doing things the proper way can cause problems, but not being able to express that the proper way can cause problems too.
Or being afraid to speak of some kind of negative description about your member, whichever one you might have. If you're ever made to feel icky about it, then you can't have that conversation, and you won't, and things will get worse because you're not communicating. So Ray, in my opinion, is 1,000% spot on. Have the conversation that you have a penis or a vagina or anything in between, both, two, what have you, and let's talk about it. Let's talk about what can happen with it. Let's have these hard but honest discussions and teach them properly so they feel more comfortable coming to you and saying, Mom, my vagina burns. I don't know what's wrong. Can you help me? And you're not going to get hung up on the fact that she said vagina because she's in pain. You see what I mean? You're just going to be like, well, that they told me straight up. Let's go.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. But sex is a common thing. It really is. So the other day I was having a conversation with my son. Speaking of literature, he's 9, and he was talking about a news article because he's got access to the internet. He can read shit, and he's intelligent. He likes to read and learn things. There was some maybe it was Maine, a book in middle school, like Greg and Tommy or something like that. I don't remember the actual name of it, but it talks about these boys and then how they sexually experimented with each other, and it was in a middle school, and it was a big blow up thing and all this stuff, and it's just I feel like set up like the kid was told to go find this book and didn't just stumble upon it, because it's pretty obvious what the book's about when you read it. It's the second part of a series, and they're about to go to college, so it's not really aimed towards middle school kids. Like it's aimed for that high school age and stuff like that. But we're getting into that age or that realm, and looking back, I mean, it's always been around, but sex in books and just literature it's everywhere. I mean, it may not be so bold and blatant, but it's going to discuss things.
What's the next banner you got?
So I do want to ask, what do you guys see as a benefit of masturbation? Go ahead, Alice.
Ray, what were you about to say?
Sorry, Ray.
Children are going to learn information regardless of what their parents do or don't decide to teach them, regardless of what schools do or don't decide to teach them. The importance of having open communication and being taught the proper things, you don't want them learning misinformation.
Absolutely.
Fact.
So, what are some benefits that you guys like? Not necessarily like have factual, scientific, medically benefits. What are some benefits that you see to masturbation? Go ahead, Jason.
So I'm a big proponent of what is often called post-nut clarity. Like if you're having a situation, but you can take a moment to go please yourself. When you are done, that moment of clarity after will help you with your situation. At least it helps me. It helps me greatly. And that's like non-scientific, if you will, but it's there for me and it works. Love it.
Saved me from a few bad late night calls back in the day.
Wow, this could be like helpful. I'm gonna add this to the business books.
There you go. Got a big deal coming up. Rub one out. What you got, Alice?
I've got two. One from the trans perspective. I have a few people that I'm sexually active with, and as my body was changing throughout the process of HRT and medical transition, like how everything works changed to the point that like the erogenous zones that were there before don't exist, and they're entirely new ones now. And like stimulating things works completely differently. And I don't know how I can keep this PG-13 and go into any more detail than that. But just regularly masturbating kept me in touch with how my body was changing. And through that, I was able to explain what I was feeling and what worked at each stage of transition to the partners I had.
Pretty interesting, honestly. I can imagine that would be
A fun ride.
I was gonna say a strange experience, for like a lack of a better term, because it's such a unique change.
100% a strange experience. It's like my body just suddenly started speaking a new language.
That's a good way to put it.
But without masturbation, you wouldn't have been able to learn that language and therefore teach that language to your partners.
Exactly.
And now todos están hablando español.
Oh man, I think, and stress levels. It's good for stress. But the post-nut clarity is like a legitimate thing. It really is, absolutely. There's no other way to define that. Like I need to see if it's scientific, but I know it's societal. So what's up, Ray?
First, Alice, go ahead with. You said you had two, and that was one.
Oh, yeah.
I completely spaced on the second one. I'm sorry.
So, for me personally, one of the biggest benefits is I am a person that I have chronic pain. I have fibromyalgia, rheumatoid arthritis, RSD, long list, alphabet soup. But for me, like on my worst pain days, it's not just that it's a distraction from the pain. Like it'll actually make the pain slightly better for the whole rest of the day.
Fuck the pain away. Fuck the pain away.
I feel like Lords of Acid should have made that a song.
There is a song,
Yeah.
Fuck the Pain Away. I don't know that it's by Lords of Acid, though.
I don't remember who it's by either.
Now,
So good.
with my particular situation, it can get frustrating sometimes when I don't have necessary available requirements. But when I have those requirements, it is very, very helpful for. I don't feel as depressed about the pain either, so it helps. It helps break the pain depression cycle where I'm depressed about my pain and my body hurts more because I'm depressed.
Yeah.
I get it. That song is about peaches, by the way. Fuck the Pain Away is about peaches. My favorite rendition is when we go to Pink Metal and they do that one. She sings that one, and she does it quite wonderfully. Yeah.
I second the fuck the pain away because my wand.
Yeah.
When you're menstruating is a lifesaver. I think I like it better than heat.
Go ahead, Alice.
The second one I remembered, just endurance in general. It kind of takes a while to get there now when I'm working solo, even if I'm using a toy. So like, just the sticking with a task and a task where your arms are going to get tired and just kind of pushing through that to get to the O kind of lends to having that experience pushing through your body being tired for other things like cleaning, moving shit, rearranging furniture at 2:00 in the morning.
Right. Or just taking a nap with others.
We're taking a nap with others, exactly.
So are you saying
nap.
that it's a form of sexercise?
Sure.
I like sexercising.
Yeah, me too. It's fun.
And from a scientific aspect. So first off, sexercise, we'll kind of go in reverse order here. Sexercise, totally a thing. Can verify, was in the Army, was in a position where I didn't have to do PT anymore, but I was happy in the bedroom, and my sit-up numbers went up because I was using my abs for hours daily. So it was fine. I didn't need to go to the gym. I had my sexercise. When it comes to pain relief, endorphins were released during an orgasm are designed to release pain, to relieve stress, one of the endorphins released is the same in chocolate. It's called anandamine. It's just a euphoric effect. And that's released when you along with like 64 other endorphins. And they all have that point of making us feel better about whatever the situation is. It really, whether it's pain, whether it's stress, whether it's, I just need to not go to my ex and get screwed up in that again, so I'm going to rub it out tonight.
Well,
that is what we're designed for. Sorry, Ray?
to add to that a little bit too, a lot of those endorphins do block pain receptors.
Right.
Which is also why levels of masochism get more heightened during extreme arousal too, is because it blocks pain receptors.
So do you understand here how important it is, everyone,
To warm up the altar boys' dinner? Yes. Just for the double shockwave, it's worth it now to go from there.
I love it.
I do not condone this joke, for the record.
Oh, you.
I do.
For those that listen to Insane Clown Posse and are juggalos, you can always punch the clown.
There you go.
Self-care,
So,
people.
speaking of ways to do things. Oh, playing the DJ. I've heard girls call it playing the DJ.
Wow.
Like, it fucked me up the first time somebody said that to me. I was talking about a friend of mine. And she's like, I didn't have shit else to do last night, so, played DJ for a little bit, and then, went to bed. And I was like, fuck, what do you mean? And she was just like, I was like, oh, okay, gotcha. Well, if you ever want to go on tour, just come on over. We'll make it a set.
Nice.
So that would be a jam session, right?
Right.
I could also bring a
No,
skin.
Ray's gone.
There is always, playing the
So,
skin.
There we go.
there's always, everyone says that, well, Mr. says it a lot too, that there's no safe sex. And it's true. There's no safe sex. But you can safely touch yourself.
Actually, you can still give yourself something while touching yourself.
This is true.
Oh God, you're right. Oh my God, you guys. Damn it. I knew it. I knew it. I
Okay,
knew
hold
it.
on, hold on. This is only true if whatever you are using to explore with is not clean. Whether it be your hands that you didn't wash, a toy you didn't wash, something somebody else has used previously. If you are using something that is clean, it is highly unlikely that you will give yourself an infection. There are caveats to unknown allergies, things like that.
Mhm.
Unknown pH balance issues
Mhm.
because
Our head's
some
great.
some solid subjects can still create pH issues.
Mhm.
They don't have to be liquid to create that. Just going on record with that.
Right.
Another myth that can be dismantled real quick.
There you go. So there's a condition. Speaking of one of the things like you can do to yourself, it's called herpetic whitlow, and it's a very specific herpes. It's on your fingers. It's specific to your fingers. So if you have an outbreak of some kind, or it looks like a cold sore, or looks like some kind of infection on your finger, you could potentially pass that gene to your genitals.
Mhm.
So how shitty would that feel though to give yourself herpes? Like,
Mhm.
I mean, but like, and that's one of those things. Like, if it becomes such, it's not just like something you have and you're like, oh, okay, my finger's a little red today. No, it's like if you have it, when it gets inflamed and it gets bad and it hurts, you're gonna go to a doctor. The doctor's gonna be like, look, this is what it is. This is how it happens. Don't do anything sexual with this finger. All that stuff. Like, they're gonna explain all the precautions to take if you go to a decent doctor, of course.
They'll tell you not to touch anything.
Okay. They also do have, like, they even have them at Walmart, finger sheaths
Mhm.
and things like that too.
I think it's funny, I mean, like Spencer sells them as little wiener condoms, but you can use those for your fingers. That's still a way to make your
Medical
your
people have it.
sex safer. So,
Oh
but,
yeah.
we saw them in New York in the big store, that really nice store we went to on the corner. They had them specifically. They were called finger condoms, and like
Yes.
they were specially made for that.
Now, there is nothing that a human can do that will be 100% safe. However, this is one of the things that has fewer risk factors.
Oh, absolutely. Don't be afraid to touch yourself just because we're telling you there's risks that could happen. That's just do your own thing. Exploring your sexual identity, techniques for understanding your desires and preferences. So,
Nice push.
You've got to go in to the motherboard and touch all the buttons separately.
Okay.
First,
Okay.
separately. You're going to want to do it separately.
No, don't touch the motherboard. You can touch the keyboard. You can touch all the buttons on the keyboard. Please touch all the buttons on the keyboard.
I have
But not
my
the button on the motherboard.
terminology wrong. I'm sorry. Okay. You're going to go into the computer and you're going to look at the screen and you're going to see the keyboard and you're going to touch each button individually one at a time to see what it does. And then you're going to jam them all at once.
If you want a good example of someone key smashing, just give a bottom a compliment.
So we talked about it earlier. Like straight folks watching gay porn.
Mhm.
Once again, that doesn't really necessarily make someone gay. It could be a number of reasons. Just because it's like the first video they clicked on, and that was their thing they were doing, was whatever they clicked on.
The kittens.
Yeah.
Fruit is masturbating.
Yes, Tyler.
As far as the straight people watching gay porn thing goes, a lot of the time, if it's not out of like a genuine interest in that style of relationship, it is also like it could also come from like a fetishistic interest, where you run into like the cis guys who don't think queer people should have rights but want to masturbate to lesbian porn, right?
Right. I take those rights away. No more lesbian porn, and that's what I'm fighting for. Well, that's one of the things I'm fighting for.
It can also not always, but sometimes before I realized that I was attracted to people regardless of what bodies they're in. I personally have never enjoyed watching straight porn unless I'm in it. But
You gotta watch film sometimes, you know. Coach up for the next time.
It's
I just
fantasy. You explore. Sorry.
What are you saying, Ray?
I forgot. I got brain squirreled, sorry.
And it also could be the taboo of it.
I want to make this point when it comes to self-exploration and it coming to your sexual orientation, what you are finding out what you like. First off, if you're playing by yourself, that means you're by yourself, so there is no one around to judge you. Feel free, like Jen said, to push all the buttons, regardless of what equipment you have. Don't let anybody else's stigmas, taboos, any other religions' views cloud the fact that that body is yours. 100% yours. And you're stuck with it for your entire existence. So you get to push all the keys. You have every right to push all the keys. In fact, you are the only person on the planet that has the right to push every key. So don't feel bad about or not push every key, or know that that key shouldn't be pushed, and that's okay. Because they're your keys. It's your body. Do what you like, regardless of what's out there. Then once you figure out what you like, you'll know where you're going to get that and do the rest of the soul searching thereafter.
Mhm.
At least in my opinion. Go ahead, Alice.
I realize I want to add a caveat to the thing I said about fetishism earlier. There is a lot of extremely gross fetishistic porn, but there's also like a lot of like amateur porn is really good for exploring ideas of like identity and attraction. For example, most of the trans people I know started like asking questions when they started watching trans porn and went, wait. There's a lot of like, specifically I'm assigned male at birth, trans femme. There's a lot of like really gross fetishistic porn. It usually has like slurs in the title. And then there's also the very amateur, but not like in quality, but like just not a studio making it, where you have people exploring their bodies in non-traditional configurations. And it's good to be able to see that too, in addition to all of the fetishism.
And I endorse the amateur porn simply because it's realistic. You know, it's more realistic. Of course, you have studios that make amateur porn, but you also have people that do cam shows with their partner. They're putting on a show, but they're still with their partner. You have people that make just sex tapes and like put it on the internet. It's still realistic. So not this position, that position, you know, where your foot's touching your forehead and your elbows on your knee at the same time. Like, don't get all bent out of shape if that's not your thing. Yeah, don't try to figure out the logistics of it. I just named random parts there. But you see two people in missionary, and then they switch to doggy style, and then one person gets on top. Like, it's okay to look at. Like, it's setting a realistic standard.
Like, I like the amateur porn where, like, they end up laughing in the middle of it. Like, someone, like, they go to change positions and someone farts. And they just bust out laughing and then get right back to it because it's realistic.
And that's, you know, the professional studio grade porn. It doesn't show those moments. You know, it's not going to show you, like you said, a fart. It's not going to show a queef. It's not going to show, you know, somebody sneezing in the middle of like a doggy style stroke.
They should have bloopers.
Aside from like bodily eruptions, there's also the things like sometimes you just slip and you like one person falls off the bed.
Ow.
And they, as soon as they catch themselves, you know, you make sure they're okay, and then you have a laugh and you pull them back onto the bed.
And just
you laugh, you might tickle, you giggle and play, and then things get back into things. And that you're right. is 100% more realistic. And if you're in the exploration self phase and haven't even played with others, I 100% endorse looking at those kinds of couples too.
You know, and wrong hole things do happen. Okay, just so you know, and it's probably gonna fucking kill the mood immediately. But if you're hammering away and you pull out just a little too far, there's a couple possibilities that could happen. Speaking of things going wrong, you can go in the complete wrong entrance. Take the wrong exit off the freeway. I had a friend of mine. He his partner was on top, and she came out just a little too far, and went right back down, and then slipped up, so right where her pelvic bone was, and then bent it. Had to go to the hospital, tore some shit. Like it can be dangerous. It's fun as fuck, but like things do happen. You could find out you developed a latex allergy.
That happened with me after I had my first child. I was not allergic to latex before that.
Surprise.
Found out about it after trying not to produce a sibling that close together. It felt like somebody shoved a cheese grater in there.
It swelled up a little bit, got a little tighter for a second.
No, my reaction is similar to a chemical burn.
Oh,
Instant blisters and yeah, it's great.
Good time. Sounds like fun.
I had a latex allergy, and actually it's one of the allergies that faded out as I was growing up. But like 16, 17-year-old me would be like, okay, let's be responsible, condom, and then like actually break out in hives.
So terrible.
Like hives on the shaft. It was awful.
Why does it look so much bigger this time? Oh,
I am so sorry. The time before I went to the doctor about it, finally, like not only did it hurt, but I was bleeding a lot, and it was bad.
Yeah. It's not always as pretty. I mean, we can make jokes and stuff, but like things like that suck, and they're awful. Like it's not anything you'll ever fucking forget. That's for sure.
And it's all a learning experience because each person being so different, each situation is going to be so different. Don't beat yourself up if you slip or you find out that they have an allergy. That you were human, and it's a learning and growing experience.
Unless that's what you want to call masturbating, is beating yourself up.
And also, to bring it back to masturbation, wrong hole things can happen with masturbation too. If you're using a toy penetratively rather vigorously and slip, that's not fun either.
That's okay.
I mean, unless it's really wet.
It's
What I meant.
nothing to apologize for that. I have learned that we get a lot more viewers like post the show than we do on the show. So whatever. We just get in here and talk, and whoever wants to fucking watch watches. I like it when they watch. I'll do it if they don't.
I like it when they watch too.
So on here, I was looking into something like journaling. So if you find something new you like, if you're that kind of person, because some people like to know exactly how to explain something or to go. There you go. Hold on real quick. Gotta
I already saw it.
I had to make sure everybody knew, But
I didn't see it. Oh, okay.
but
Put up the last comment too, mister.
I'll pull up the last comment. I got you. Yeah.
Thank you.
I like it when they watch. Okay. All right.
Rav and I have involved other people a few times, and they always enjoy being put on display.
Very nice. I can dig it. You good there, right? her hair fell to cover her face.
No, it's just in the same shade.
Moving forward.
So like the journaling, self-reflection, that kind of stuff, even in the ways of after you've watched some kind of porn, going afterwards, that post-nut clarity of that was fucking weird. I don't want to watch that shit again. You know, but I'm gonna save it just in case. Yeah,
You always go back. You know, you always go back a second time just to make sure that you aren't there. And if you are there, you go to a level of acceptance and move forward.
once to try, twice to know. Yeah, labs. The topic is masturbation. More self-exploration is, the fancier way of putting it. But yes, absolutely, masturbation is the topic today.
Can I put this on your wiener?
You want to eat a pecan swirl off my wiener? Okay. Well, I mean, sure.
Sorry, y'all.
I'm down.
The thoughts come out sometimes.
You had to take the filter off to put the pecan swirl in. I fully understand.
It does happen. It does happen.
Jen, if we're going to be on that topic very briefly, Funyun rings or Funyuns.
Fun rings.
Fruit roll-ups.
Fruit roll up.
That was making me itch. Corn syrup.
Starburst.
You guys are aware you may get another dick pic from me. That's my dick wrapped up in like a fruit roll up now. Like it's just gonna happen.
The rainbow ones, okay?
So caveat here, anything with sugar in it, like high sugar content, is bad, especially for female genitalia. If like sugar plus vagina equals yeast infection.
Exactly.
That's why I was leaving it for the oral portions.
Last says, you feel guilty even still now. I get really nervous someone around when I am, though I'm trying to work on it. That's
You just keep doing you, boo-boo.
Mm-hmm. Whatever you're comfortable with. Becca says edible panties.
Yeah, those are still not so good.
Yeah, they're a little bit better because they're intended to be external, but still, sugar plus vagina equals not good things.
You guys ever suck on a sucker and like all the juice kind of runs down the sucker? Like that. That's what's going to happen when things get drippy. You're going to absorb like a little sponge. So
Now, if you want to talk about adding household things for self-pleasure and that exploration, do not grab Icy Hot or Gold Bond or anything like that. No, just a 10 out of 10 or 0 out of 10. Do not recommend.
Coconut
if
oil.
we're on the topic of household things, if you're going to use ice for any reason, and you have an outie rather than an innie, make sure that there is a layer of material between you and the actual ice. So, like, put it in a Ziploc bag or something so that you're not direct contact with the ice.
Mhm.
Speaking from experience.
No toothpaste.
No toothpaste.
The other thing too with ice.
Sorry, go ahead.
Go ahead.
Oh, go ahead.
The other thing too with ice, make sure that your water that is being frozen is clean.
Mm-hmm.
If you are going to use anything, like cleanliness is key.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah, distilled water is 99 cents. It's fine. You just get a jug of distilled. On the toothpaste subject, anything with fluoride you don't want anywhere near an innie. And for an outie, it is better to use a Hall's cough drop for the same sensation with less intensity.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I like that.
For some people, also depending on your sensitivity, like don't have someone else help you if they've brushed their teeth like 30 seconds ago.
Right. Exactly.
Spicy foods.
Correct.
Oh god,
spicy
yeah, no,
tacos.
you don't want spicy food.
Yeah. No spicy tacos.
I know the world we live in now, so I really feel like I have to say this. We talked about ice. No dry ice.
No.
Oh.
Okay, we all know better, but I feel like there's some person. I was gonna say something mean, but some person out there that's gonna be like, oh, ice, dry ice is ice. Don't fucking do that.
It is.
Now, if the thing that's good about ice is that it's cold, and dry ice is colder than regular ice, obviously it's better.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah, that's
Mm-mm.
yeah. It says in the entirety of the dry ice handling and store when you go to buy it, it's one of the few things you can buy without a chemical license. That's not, that is this volatile. Is do not, have direct skin contact with it. Do not touch it with your bare skin. You're supposed to pick up the gloves. You're supposed to keep it in a liquid so it can fog out. That's supposed to look cool. That's fine, but don't no skin contact.
Good for dungeon special effects, not good for dungeon play.
There you go.
So on the topic of not to use the icy hot, it is safe to use like conditioners that are safe with you already on your skin. Fucking
Mhm.
that
Lotion.
lotion.
And of course, you can always use actual like sex lubricants, water-based lubricants that are designed for such.
Mm-hmm. And with toys, use water-based, not silicone-based, especially with silicone toys. Because it's not going to like dissolve instantly, but it will deteriorate and mess up the silicone together.
It makes it more porous.
Yeah. If you don't have like actual melting happening, you still have the surface of it breaking down, and it can harbor bacteria and particulates that you don't want sticking around.
I need to take those away from me. I've ate like 3 of them.
And silicone is another one of those pH fucker uppers.
Mm-hmm.
It sure can be.
So, if you're highly susceptible to pH issues, silicone is definitively not going to be fine.
Silicone lubes are great for like special effects, and maybe for like external things, like if you have someone who's like really into knees or arms or something, and they want to like in here, it's great for there. It's not great for anywhere there's an opening or a mucous membrane.
The more you know.
Also, petroleum-based lubricants
Are not good for silicone toys either.
So stick with water-based. It's kind of good for everything.
It really is. But water is a horrible lubricant. But water-based lubricants are fine. I don't understand it. I like science, but I'm not a scientist.
It's because they are water-based. There's other additives that make them more viscous.
Any of you know body-safe paints that might happen to get in those areas?
So most body safe paints are safe for external, but if they do get inside of any areas, you're going to want to wash it right away.
Yeah.
Never mind. Nope, not going there.
Tried to catch a squirrel and got a possum instead. Gotcha.
Gotcha. Nope, I was just like, you know what? We're going to avoid that one. So beyond like the masturbation aspect of it, the sexuality aspect of it, self-exploration in general, how do you guys feel that, real quick, let's make the void go from black to red. And the need and the curiosity to make beautiful paintings with void.
It's something we've talked about doing, dousing ourselves in body paint and then fucking on a canvas.
Mm-hmm. And canvas is pretty cheap at Hobby Lobby or online if you don't want to shop at Hobby Lobby.
Ray, are you okay?
Yep.
So overall, though, the self-exploration aspect of it, of learning like what you like touched, and I know it's different if someone else touches you. Like I can touch myself right here, and it's like nothing. But if someone kisses me there, it's like, oh, that's nice. Learning through that kind of like you won't learn those things through self-exploration, but how do you feel self-exploration in general as the whole body develops someone's sexual identity?
It
kind of creates a starting point
for making your own roadmap.
Mm-hmm.
Happy birthday, Amira.
Hi, Amira. Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
Thank you for stopping in. You're welcome to stay as long as you'd like.
Happy solar. Sorry.
Happy anniversary of your
Escape from the womb.
I'm gonna start calling it the anniversary of my containment breach.
I don't know. I spent my whole life trying to get back in.
Gee, I'm
Not the same one.
No, she's out of the picture. She kicked it a few years ago. So
My condolences.
now I'm just replacing it.
Fair enough.
But so I do like that, Ray. You said it's a good starting place. I don't know, like I said, I would have never learned these things without other people. But as far as exploring your own self, I do know where I don't like to be touched. So I'm able to learn those boundaries.
You taught me all about your wiener.
It also helps with gaining the confidence to being willing to explore things with a partner as well. Like if you're confident and you know how you're going to react to certain things, it doesn't catch you off guard when you react similarly with a partner.
What do we have to do though? What do we have to do with our partners?
Communicate.
Communicate.
I think we managed to go over an hour without saying it this time.
Ridiculous.
That
Ridiculous. I fail at life.
we gotta get back on our game.
Oh, right. It's
All right.
okay.
I said it earlier. You guys just missed it.
Oh,
Sorry, Ray.
Well,
We are having
Really?
issues with the sound. When you go back and listen, you'll understand.
but
The wonder.
so like myself, self-exploration with me. When I was born with something called hypospadias. It means my urethra came out the bottom instead of the end.
Yeah, extra
And
spigots.
when I was like 3, they did a surgery to correct it. And then as I hit puberty, things shifted and changed again. And I had to have another surgery. So now it's fascinating. What is it called? I can never remember what it's called.
I
But-
don't know. You like to tell people that you've had wiener surgery.
Yeah, I mean, it's nice because I do have like a scar where the stitches and stuff were. So, I can always tell people that I had to have some taken off and I can prove it. But with that though, having 2 surgeries there, even though they were that far apart, I'm not as sensitive as most. There's been some cuts in the nerves there. It is fascinating. I was left with a second hole that has a whole fucking word, and I can't remember what it's called. It's gonna drive me nuts, but I'll Google it in a minute. But like, I have to hold this motherfucker shut, like when I pee, because otherwise it's like, hey, we sprung a leak. It's not fun at all. I haven't figured out how that works with an orgasm, which would be maybe kind of fun to find out. Hold one end shut, see what happens. Water gun, like a squirt.
If I had that situation going on, I absolutely would have done that already.
Right? I think about it, and then like when the time comes, it's like, I forgot.
Okay.
Well, to be fair,
No.
you're a little distracted when the time comes.
I'm gonna give a story that doesn't seem like it's gonna relate, but it does. I promise. So many of you know I have dentures, and to get the dentures, I had to go through a lot of toothaches and pains, and I had an abscess in my mouth that was so bad it was up into my sinuses. It actually had breached a hole where I could breathe in between my sinuses and my mouth. It was a hole that shouldn't be there. And the more I messed with it, the more it kept it open. So, in my opinion, if I had that condition, I would make sure that the leak hole was always held closed so that the flesh eventually would try to reconvene, and therefore I'd be spraying the normal straight shots. So, I'm aiming true and not aiming in the dirt.
Do we need to put a Band-Aid over it?
Oh, they tried that when I was like,
Cocksheath.
I thought you said a car key. I'm like, what?
No, a sheath for penises to restrict the flow because it is thought to increase pleasure when you restrict letting it out. I'm not a fan myself, but I can validate it for others. I can smell wood burning, Alice.
Oh.
What?
Are you thinking? Because I can smell wood burning.
No, I was listening. I actually have a story that I'm going to share here in a second. I was just waiting for you to be done with yours.
I will yield the floor.
So when I was a kid, think 10 and a half, 11-ish, my brother thought it'd be real funny for personal reasons to whack me between the legs with a golf club. It hit so hard he cracked my pelvis, and like I've been shooting blanks since. But I have a lot of the lessened sensitivity that Mister was talking about. I have a lot of that from that injury, and like with how things worked before, there wasn't a whole lot of sensation at the end of things. It was just, oh, cool, pressure's gone. There's a little mess to clean up. And with HRT and the way my body's changed, and the fact that the orgasm now happens all over my body instead of just concentrated on that one spot, the orgasms I have now make it feel like I never actually had one before.
Valid. 100%.
Sounds pretty fun.
Jen said some.
Oh, hold on. There's a little paragraph from Lav. Let me read that real quick. Okay.
You put it up so I can read it too, pretty please.
Mister.
Mister's looking for the name of his
Sorry.
thing.
Void is incredible at checking in. I know I've said it before, but I'll say it again. Amazing at it. I've never felt more comfortable than when I'm with them. And
Aw.
I have gotten that compliment from a second person as of 2 days ago.
aw, that's good. Hell yeah. Body orgasms are the best.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
I
I will
only
say,
have leg to stand on, so I can't really speak on the subject.
that that is one of the weird side benefits from all of my nerve issues is, yes, I do have a lot of pain, but my hypersensitivity goes in the other direction as well too. So like all of my yes zones are oh yes zones.
I like that. I like the way you put that. Lav says, honestly, since this is about masturbation, I'm really bad at it on my own. Well,
So the problem that Lav has, since they're bringing it up, is that their arms are short.
a machine.
I've told them that.
Magic
Or,
wand. You need a
they
wand. I got you. I know my arms.
They have vibrators. They do have vibrator.
Licking beans is not fun.
Something I've recommended is they actually make these almost staff-like poles that have toys attached to them, and you pull one end of the pole to thrust the toy, which can be great for like accessibility if you're someone who has mobility issues during sex, or could also be great if you have short arms.
So a blanket or a towel works wonders. Actually, you just like hoist it under your backside and use the blanket or towel.
Am
you describing that well?
I have never considered that, and I'm going to ask for more information later.
So
Should
also,
I show you a demonstration right now?
So also, Liberator makes a special pillow that you can insert toys in, and you can also like insert vibrators into and stuff like that.
I have one of those pillows around here somewhere.
But like they are fantastic if you have that short issue and if you want that insertion rather than just the vibration on the surface. The word I was looking for a minute ago was fistula. That's
Is a
what
fistula.
the term is called for the second hole from the surgery. Didn't quite take, so it created a fistula to the urethra. So it's kind of
Okay.
fun.
Party trick.
Just so loud doesn't
Don't feel alone. I also am bad at solo missions, but for entirely different reasons. Fuck it. All of you guys know it. Now the whole internet's gonna know it. I cannot take a solo mission to completion without the aid of someone else. Like, it does not work. I still haven't gotten past that. It's 100% a mental block. I just
Question.
can't do it.
This is a question about that. Would you
Go
be
ahead.
able to record yourself?
No,
Okay.
I've tried.
Okay. I didn't know if that would help you get past that or not.
I've tried.
All right. So
It requires specifically somebody that I feel submissive to.
okay, I feel you. And they lab rocking chair that has a hole in the middle of it seems like fun. Absolutely. They also make ones that have like stretchy bands that you can use to help the squats.
And then there's also, given like we have power tools, we could just build something.
Exactly.
One of us is a degreed scientist and a certified engineer, so
Exactly. See, that's
we could
perfect.
build
Be
something.
a chair in the corner to start with.
There you go.
I'm sorry, I'm still kind of mystified and terrified and still slightly turned on with the idea of Alice and power tools.
Before
sorry,
we go,
complete squirrel moment here. The babies are
Out from under the couch. This is their first venture outside of where their mom put them. Sorry.
it's a different kind of kitties, guys.
Actual cat, feline, creatures.
Meow meows.
They're so cute.
You know when
Sorry,
they're
go ahead.
all in one pile, you know what you call that? It's a mountain.
See, now's a good time, Ray, to teach them about how predators work. Just reach down and snatch one up and hold it.
No!
They'll be a little more cautious. They probably will never come out from under the couch again, but they would learn to be, observant of creatures around them. Don't ever do that to your animal. That's terrible. Oh, Lab says they have their own power tools. But the movie I've been waiting over, we'll get to in just a second.
That inspires the same feelings, Lav, just for the record.
When Lav got their power tools, they pulled the drill out and started using it. They were building like a kitchen cabinet that had like a drawer to swing out a trash can. And I could hear them cackling on the other side of the house.
No power tools. We're not. So this is actually a really good segue into the one that everybody was looking forward to is the sexploration myths, separating fact from friction. Right here. So Rebecca says, I was told that masturbation was bad. Now that I'm at my age, just learning, how can I please myself? So that is a big thing that I've, heard my whole life is masturbation's bad. But I did give you guys a little bit of homework, and I don't know, you guys probably know it off the top of your head, but myth, things that aren't true, false statements. I don't feel like saying that word over and over again.
I would like to go last with mine because mine's going to take a little bit of time.
Oh, for sure. Anybody want to go first?
I will take the easy one since I didn't do any actual homework. But I can speak to you from personal experience and scientific proof. For penis holders, tugging your own rope does not make you go blind. Not really? No. Otherwise, I would need glasses. And I need them, but not need them. Like,
What?
I've been thinking of them, but that's it. I mean, yeah, that's because of lack thereof, mister. You were told it was bad. I can see well and shoot straight.
I need glasses, but that's completely unrelated to my activity history.
I will
So-
bust
So
my myth. I didn't
with-
kill a sentence.
with the statistics of the
Percentage of people that masturbate, damn near everybody on the planet would be blind.
Mhm.
I mean, a lot of people wear glasses. Just saying. But no, it does not in any way, shape, or form harm your body. Um, doesn't make your palms hairy. It doesn't make you go blind. It doesn't. It might give you carpal tunnel if you do it too much. But
About the only
One
about the
thing
only way masturbation could make you go blind is if you shoot yourself in the eye.
and then it only burns for a little bit. And you just have to clean that shit out.
But yeah, and we're not killing any kittens either.
Prior to this had never heard the "it kills kittens" one,
Oh my gosh.
but that is such a shitty thing to say to a gullible child.
It really hurt my feelings. It hurts my feelings now.
so many pieces of misinformation that lead to so much pain, and this is just a small example of that. A very small example, but the pain is real. The tears are real, and those kinds of things are propagated within our society.
Oh,
And
that's the kitten.
It happens with kids at school, with cousins, with parents sometimes. And if you're a parent that has done this to your child, you are totally in the wrong, in my opinion, because you are bound to be truthful to those you love. And misinformation isn't truth.
Absolutely. So if you guys need to understand what traumatized Jen as a kid, this meme.
That kitten, sometimes I'll still see it after I'm done.
All right, so even like just fundamentally, just real quick, even if that's true, which it's not, God is the one doing the killing, not you.
Yeah, so it's not your fault.
Okay, that makes
Like
sense too, but still,
we're talking
imprinted.
we're talking
That
an alleged sky daddy who also flooded the planet because he didn't like how people were behaving. So like, you shouldn't make yourself responsible for the way he might act in theory.
There's actually a really good song that me and Mister have listened to lately. Oh, that's a good myth. Thank you, Mister. Oh, Mister gave me a myth to bust. Masturbating in a relationship is cheating.
Ah, that's the one I had. Fuck.
Aw.
Well, we'll let you bust this one. I got like a whole
Go
list.
ahead.
So it's not cheating, asterisk. If you and a partner sit down and talk about it and go, hey, we don't want to masturbate, or like we don't have an interest in masturbate, or we don't, like one person might have trauma, so you don't do it in a specific location, that's fine. But it's not cheating. Like even if you go, hey, I don't want you to masturbate because you're in a relationship with me and the other person masturbates, they didn't cheat on you. Right?
I want to reaffirm this from where this topic was used as a tool against me. I was with an abusive woman who told me masturbating was wasting children and that I couldn't do it because she wanted a baby. And so now I still did it. I had to. I'm human. That was a tool used against me in such a fashion that in my next relationship, I had to set this boundary of, hey, this is mine, and I'm going to wash it as fast as I want to. Go ahead, back then.
I would like to just toss in just real quick. I want to detach. I had to, and I'm human. Because there are people who are asexual and just don't have the urge, and they're still human.
Fair. Okay, I'm a sexually charged human.
Fair.
All right. And it's only me I'm talking about. This is me. So, yeah. But I do apologize I did not mean to be insensitive to my asexual family. But this one, requires that post-nut clarity. Damn it.
And that's complete bullshit, though, also, of her thinking that was on reserve. Like, that's not a fucking thing. Like, those boys
Live and die.
Yeah. So,
Right?
but
'Cause I
this
don't know
this
how to-
woman was highly narcissistic, controlling, horrible. Obviously, for her to be able to say something like that to me, and you know, it, it was horrible. It was traumatic, and because of that, I, had to come forward and say, all right, well, here's a boundary I have. It's a hard limit. This is going to happen. If you have issue with that, you need to speak up now, and we'll talk about it.
And why would
What?
I have fucking issue?
Say again?
Yeah, because I'm gonna hold my peace.
An issue with that. So I'm glad you guys.
That lady's amazing.
Sorry, I had to insert humor.
Humor there. Speak now, because I'm gonna hold my peace.
Yep, that's a great way to put it. I'm going to speak now because I'm going to hold my peace. You're damn right.
Yeah, we'll not go for you.
Oh, masturbation is only for young people.
Has anyone in this group ever been adjacent to like a nursing home?
Right?
So my lady lives in assisted living, or works in an assisted living facility. My ex-stepmother did. I've been well aware of what goes on there. and that is, I mean, Jen, are your parents still on this earth?
Yeah.
Do you think they rub it and tuck it? Do you think they flick the bean?
Oh, yeah. I mean, actually, okay, well,
I know you may not want to think about your parents doing such things.
Oh, they
you
for
know
sure
what? My mom should have just talked to me about this last night because she says it's been far too long. And I'm like, well, what are you fucking waiting on? Go to junipergen.com and buy you. Yeah, this is what this is what I told her. I said we were talking about doing it yourself. Just fucking do it yourself. She's married to a truck driver, so that
Yep.
gets complicated.
It sure does. And long distance relationships, or times when a partner is away for long periods, it's going to put stress on the sexual relationship. Distance prevents you from having that touch and intimacy. So, get your post-nut clarity.
There's absolutely fun toys that can help with partner masturbation.
Just saying, Lenora and Max too.
Very well.
So I have a couple here just for representation purposes. Like, I know we have a multitude of people that watch and people that participate here as well. I'll let Alice, if you want to take this one, go for it. Masturbation can cure gender dysphoria. I did that server thing. I saw you take a bite. And I was like, nope, I'm going to call on Alice.
No, it does not cure gender dysphoria, but exploring the different ways you can masturbate can help mitigate it.
So right? Big old bite too.
Honestly, though, I was looking at like the thing, and then as I looked up and I seen you eating, I seen your hand over your mouth. I was like, oh well, fuck, we're already in it. Like I've already read it to myself, so it's got to come out. The next two that I have here, and anybody's welcome to chime in here because we all kind of have an understanding of the sexual spectrum. Asexual people do not masturbate. Go for it, Alice.
Let them finish their and have that.
Some do. Right. There are sex positive and sexually active asexual people who do. And there are sex repulsed people who don't, and like they get very uncomfortable if they're near that environment or near that situation.
So
some of them do and some of them don't. And not every asexual person is the same.
And just to clarify, the ones that are asexual and masturbate, they lack it's more or less they lack the sexual attraction to people, right?
Mhm.
Okay. That's because I know that's a big spectrum we've talked about, and I'd love to have a whole episode dedicated to that again as well.
Because sometimes what happens is they're just like they'll have, all right, maybe I want to feel this thing because their body does release the same chemicals ours do at the end. Or sometimes, like if they're in a partnership situation and it's not a solo mission, they'll be like, hey, maybe I want to connect with this person in this way, but it's not like, ooh, I'm looking at this person and I want to fuck.
Right. You know, as far as like ace people go, it could be doing something for your partner because it's something they enjoy. Even in that aspect, I mean, it still requires consent, communication, and respect, and all those things. But it's like, you know, I'm not much of a gardener, but if Jen wants me to go get out in the garden, I'll get out with her. I'll help her garden some shit. I'll get that hoe out and tear it up. I don't care. What were you about to say, Ray? What were you going to say?
I forgot.
He likes my fat hoe.
Well,
Can
as
you
long
repeat
as you're
that
not
one
trying to
for
play
me?
with your little spade, it's okay, I guess.
Calling a spade a spade?
No, as long as you're not trying to play with your little spade, you know, the one your personal spade, the good one.
No, I'll let her play with my little spade.
Well, I'm not trying to be a sizist here.
Next myth.
Masturbation can cure asexuality.
Yeah.
There's nothing to cure about that.
The only thing it can cure is a headache.
Yeah.
Even then, maybe.
Yeah.
I said it can. The only thing it can.
That's a myth
Not
that
that
I
it does.
learned when I was young too.
And
Sexuality is not something that needs to be cured.
People that are asexual are not broken.
And identity is not
a disorder.
something that can be cured. Can't put that any other way.
And we touched on this one a second ago. It said asexual people who masturbate are not really asexual. So we kind of just covered that 1 minute ago as well.
You don't get to take anybody's card away.
Exactly. The only person who can say this asexual person isn't asexual is that person. Period.
Nobody gets to take your card away. It's your card.
Mhm.
I have my card. That's the only card I'm worried about is mine.
That's right.
Oh, that last one at the bottom. Sure.
The only
That one.
the only cards we should be worrying about is making sure everyone's adults. So card 'em.
Yeah. And communicating properly, right? Right?
Proper communication.
Private chat real quick, mister.
Huh?
Private chat real quick.
Quick, mister.
Oh, Lord. Oh, goodness.
So the next myth.
Hold on just a second. Laugh says, I got to pop away. Got to feed my sourdough. We love you. Thank you for being here.
Go feed the mama.
Another word.
Love
for
you, Lav. Have
masturbating?
fun with your bread.
Kneading the sourdough. Oh, you said
Oh, feeding. Yeah, they have multiple sourdough starters downstairs.
Oh, I'm jealous.
But is that still a euphemism?
No, we're talking like actually the starter to make bread.
Oh, cool. Oh, yeah.
The bacterium beginner.
Yeah.
Another one Jen really wanted me to cover says masturbation is only for the unmarried or celibate.
No. It's for anyone who wants to. As long as they're in a space where there's no one else who doesn't consent.
But I just think we missed a lot of good myths around religious theories.
Oh, like
I kind of got the vibe that someone might have been trying to avoid the religious myths.
Who?
I mean, I'm not unopposed, but
Ooh, me?
I am
I
not
guess
going
we do
to.
want to go to bed tonight. I mean, I want to go to bed tonight.
Just saying,
Right.
that's going to be another 2-hour discussion in itself.
I am absolutely down to have that discussion at some point in time. Part of Void's tragic backstory is forced
Absolutely.
seminary training.
Well, we should fucking do that sometime. I'm down to bash religion one night. Or discuss religion one night.
We can just continue that conversation with the live button turned off.
Well,
It's more fun with the live button on.
Both.
This is
Ray, do you want to wrap up with yours?
Well, I got one more that
Okay, good. I gotta
heard.
pee, and I want to be
go
here
ahead.
for Ray. So you do
So I do have one more that I heard. Like, I heard it in my sex ed health class, or not my sex ed class, my health class, in like 7th grade. Masturbation can lower your sperm count and your fertility. I mean, it can for like a quick second because you let it all out, but it's still there.
In the few minutes that your body has to recover from having ejected everything, yes. After those few minutes, no. And if you masturbate regularly, your body's going to produce more. Period.
Absolutely, and that's
Go ahead.
Okay, wait. There is a little bit of counter information than what I've done when trying to get my abusive ex pregnant. So, when when a penis holder jerks it, they hit 50% capacity in 3 days, and then 100% in 10 days, as far as their full count and what their live soldier count per load is. So yeah,
Google that real quick because I've never heard that.
That is, if that is absolutely factual, that's fascinating. So it's like the math thing. You can half something to infinity, and it'll never run out. So it still holds true. It'll never. Now I know ovaries do run out of eggs, but testes never run out of sperm unless there's something that happens medically to cause the sperm production to stop being produced. From my understanding, I could be wrong on that one.
Like I said, this was a point of counter information, so we would have to do some deep diving on medical journals to understand more about it.
Absolutely.
Just some quick Googling on Google Scholar says 3 days is the number.
Huh.
That is fascinating.
And I mean, okay, let's think about it. I mean, physiologically speaking, it's not infinite.
Well, yeah.
Because, I mean, you have to have time to make the stalls again. They're not just sitting there loaded like extra rounds.
Yeah, every spermatogenic cycle is 64 to 72 days.
Huh. Like a bunch of paratroopers waiting to just get out.
Fucking mini.
Honestly, most of the microorganisms that live within inside of you and are part of you are much like trained soldiers with specific missions and ways of executing those missions. I would love to, and I'm just not crazy enough to be Miss Frizz.
I do think that we're about to give Ray her spotlight on the.
Please do. In fact, let's make her full screen. Let's do it.
You okay with that, Ray?
Deep dive.
I'm good.
You good with it? You okay going full screen?
Uh-oh.
I would rather not. I'm good.
There you go.
But
All right, Ray. Floor is yours, dear.
So the one myth that I really wanted to address is that masturbation in early childhood is always indicative of sexual trauma. It is not. Toddlers learn what feels good because they just do. It's base animal instinct at that point. You learn what feels good on your own body. It does not necessarily mean that somebody else has shown you this. Like, there's even pictures in medical journals in utero of fetuses touching their genitals. There is no minimum age where it is unhealthy. Like, caveat to that, yes, pay attention to your children. If specific things are said, it can be indicative, but masturbation itself is not.
What's not healthy, to add a little bit of a lighter spin to this, is a 9-year-old hiding in a fucking metal closet or a metal shed with an old school Playboy, just getting at it in the middle of fucking summertime and about heat stroking out.
Now, with that, like,
a lot.
with that, had that 9-year-old had parents that had stepped in and said this is a natural thing. Yes, private places, time and place, but that child would have been taught that that was a shameful thing to have felt the need to hide in that closet.
Right.
As the child, it wasn't so much the shame; it was like the opportunity. I was out in the shed and like I rode across a little Playboy and was like, "What? Let me lock this door real quick." Fucking poor sweat.
Actually get that one. In the house I grew up in, there was a batch of woods back behind the house, and it was like absolutely covered in poison ivy. And like me and my sister are the only people in the family who don't have a reaction to poison ivy.
Oh
So
my
I'd
God.
go back there for privacy, and I like climb up in one of the trees and be just alone outside and do the same thing.
Okay. I thought that was going a completely different way.
Stripper named Poison Ivy.
You're going to learn why you can't use poison ivy.
No, don't use poison ivy. That should go without saying. Don't put anything with the word poison in it on your dick.
No matter how sadistic. I mean, actually.
So, to share a little bit of personal history too, like with my children, I have never said that that was a shameful thing or don't do that, it's bad. I have raised my children with private parts are private for a reason, especially as children, but they're yours to do with as you want.
For sure.
Just in private areas.
Yes.
Not in public.
Like, I have had the conversation many times with one of my children. That is okay in the bathroom or your bedroom. That is not okay in the living room when there's company.
And just a caveat, if you're one of those parents that's going to threaten to take your teenager's doors off the hinges, I hope they sit there in the bed and just make eye contact with you while they do it. Because it's your fault at that point.
Oh, that's such a terrifying thought on every level.
But that'd be such a fucking power move, though.
Right? Like, total boss.
I bet that door would go back up like that day.
No, actually, unfortunately, if you have a parent that is fucking crazy enough to do that, take your door down like that, you are in a not so fucking great place, and you might not want to fucking test your parents. They'll probably fucking.
I mean, they are probably
Chaos in
fucking
me says,
eventually.
like,
They're your parents.
I know.
Yeah, so Becca's comment there.
Yep. Pop that up.
That is illegal in most places that I know. I would not recommend that to anyone.
But
Day 6, would you like me to handle the butt?
Hold on, I apologize. I missed the comment. I was being a mom.
okay, so Becca says what? No public masturbation? So
Go
I
ahead.
think I know where Ray's
Go-
about to pop in
No.
with. Go ahead, Daisix.
I've got the but to that. There's a difference between being illegal and getting caught.
So that brings in the caveat as well of Bluetooth toys. That is technically public masturbation, although no one can see. You're still privately doing it, but I mean, technically.
Don't you come after my toys.
The public thing is only really a problem when you're forcing it onto people, right? If you're out in the middle of the woods and there's no one around for miles in any direction, it's not hurting anybody.
Well, what if you're driving down the road in your car
I saw a video
with a
like
skirt
that.
on?
There's a question there. Are you doing it in a way that someone looking at you going by is going to be aware of what you're doing?
Only the truckers, and they appreciate it.
I mean, yes, they do.
It depends on their angle.
But no,
So with that,
It might not.
personally, I don't think it's a problem. unless it is clearly visible what you are doing and there are people that see it, and or you are exposing genitals in a public place where there are other people. Like, if you're just at Walmart with your lush in and nobody can see it,
What was that look for, Ray?
I don't know what you're talking about, but
Example,
go ahead.
I look around when I think too.
Yeah.
So ultimately,
Check out my fan
it's-
base. Just saying.
well, ultimately, it comes down to: are you going to involve someone else in the thing that you're doing?
Without
Right.
their consent.
And then it comes to: do they consent to it? Are you in a place where that's appropriate? Like, if you're like over at a friend's place and that friend's been like, "Hey, if you need to rub one out, just use the couch. I'm not going to give a shit." Then that's obviously fine.
That's a good friend.
That's a
I
great
need friends like that.
Come to my house and sleep on my couch and rub around out anytime. Open invitation.
I will keep that in mind if I
So-
ever visit.
Just want to make sure that I am a
So
good
you mean-
friend too.
So you mean I could have in the backseat? I'm just kidding.
Absolutely.
Those roads are bumpy.
Mhm.
Continuing on.
But the only ethical question is: are you involving someone else without their consent in a place that's not appropriate? If they consent, if it's a place that's appropriate, or if you're not involving anybody else, do what the fuck ever. And if I'm not going to share too much of the detail of it, but Lav and I had a date with a third person on Valentine's Day where we went out to a field that's just right on the Ohio River, right? It's in a residential area, so there
Stars
might have been. What was that?
The stars above in the lake. and the
So that was the
grass.
plan, but it was cloudy. So we just had this gray sky above, but it was a very wonderful night.
Yes.
But we had blankets at the ready, and we were paying attention if someone started coming by, because there was a road that went right by the field, or if a barge started coming down the river, we would have covered up and made sure that they
Cartoon
didn't see
style,
anything.
roll into the blanket together.
So
Combat
it was
is what that's
it was
called.
just like a king-sized comforter blanket that we had laying next to where we were doing things. So it would have been just one of us grabs it and throws it over all three of us.
Nice. Good plan. Becca says, in my car in a parking lot, the chance of getting caught is high. Just saying.
And sometimes that's the appeal,
Mhm.
right? But if you do get caught, you don't be a fucking creep about it. You just go, "Oh, my bad," you leave.
Leave with embarrassment. The real walk of shame.
Or, if you still want to finish, ask if they consent to seeing.
I mean, you want to watch?
Ethically,
All right, so there's ethically that would be fine if they say yes. Ethically, but that raises also the comfort question of this stranger sees someone masturbating and comes up and goes, "Oh, I want to watch." That would be real uncomfy.
Maybe for you.
Maybe.
Just,
So I'm a little more jaded when this particular subject of masturbation in a situation like that or being interrupted. I was in the Army, and of course, you have your own barracks room, but you're still sharing it with someone.
Mhm.
So if your battle buddy comes into your room, their room too, and interrupts you, it's actually courteous to ask, do you want to help? Or, because if they don't, they will turn around and leave. They understand it's your space too. And like Ray said, time and place, right? It's
Mhm.
your time and your place. Yes, you share it with someone, but you're under restricted circumstances. Like even the bathroom is shared. So you don't have a private place, but you have a room of your own assignment and covers to be under.
Mhm.
But getting interrupted is still an option.
when they get interrupted and their smartass say, "Do you want to help?" and you say, sure fucking do. I can get this done real fucking quick and go to sleep."
Time effective. You know, we're trying to get some fucking sleep in here. Let's go.
Yeah, you get
We're
more
gonna
upset
redefine
that
battle,
you got-
buddy.
You get more upset that you're interrupted than caught because you're in the army. You're in a barracks full of heterosexuals, by and large. At least when I was in, this was 20 years ago. So
I mean, to be fair, you could still get red light alarms and like the fucking fire hose shit.
We almost done.
Almost. About time for you to go to bed. Anyway.
we're just so close, Jen. It's okay. We'll get there.
All right.
I'll make-
I'm going to let you go last on the closing thoughts. I'll start it, and we'll just kind of rotate around. So me, Jen, Ray, Alice, you. Okay. So my closing thoughts are just essentially, it's okay to explore yourself. It's okay to learn what you like, and in the privacy of your own world. If you watch something, you watch something. If you don't like it, don't watch it again. If you're curious about something, give it a try. Don't hurt yourself, but take the time to learn what you like.
Harm yourself.
Okay.
Some people like to hurt themselves.
Mm-hmm.
I'll reiterate, push your buttons yourself. And remember what button that was. Write it down if you have to. That's a good idea. I thought that was a good idea. I wish I wrote some of my buttons down because I know it's been like years down the road. Oh yeah, I really fucking like that. And I remember having that before, that button pushed before, and I forgot. And it would have been nice to have that button pushed for a whole long time before. But anyways, yeah.
Right.
As a parent, my closing
Thought is it is our responsibility, if we are going to be body positive, to teach the next generation to be body positive. Part of being body positive is teaching that masturbation is a natural occurrence.
Alice.
Got 2 points. One, as a trans person who had a weird path to figuring out they were trans, it's a good idea to explore the questions that what you're doing when you masturbate bring up. And two, the entire human body is natural. So exploring the entire human body is also natural.
Absolutely. And hit the home run grand slam there. What you got, Daisy?
Well, I mean, everybody brought the exact right messages. I want to throw backups to all of them. And a quick shout back to children will explore too. That is okay. I want that reiterated. But my final thought is when this topic comes up, I'm always reminded of a song. Green Day said, when masturbation's lost its fun, you're fucking lazy. Thank you all.
And good night.
Fuck
everybody.
you!